Hello, this is Michael from Blue Gem Tarot. Time to create another reading for the channel. We have in here the topic of what hidden excitement people feel about you. This is going to be a reading that will, just like usual, delve into deep aspects of people's feelings, perceptions, and what makes them feel excited about you. I think this is going to be quite fun. I do not know where this reading will lead us to, but I'm very certain, certain that it will yield some very interesting insights and will reveal some truths that people are just, as usual, like not ready to reveal to you. And given that this is excitement, I believe this will be about some sort of reactions or perhaps unexpected things that they feel or they get triggered by reaction wise that they cannot control, and specifically excitement. So this is going to be about some very positive stuff. Of course, I will not steer away from negative information if I stumble across it, for the sake of you knowing the full picture. But again, given that this is excitement, I think this is going to be quite fun to delve into. Um, I think that's pretty much it for the introduction. Thank you so much for all of the support that you provide to my channel. And if I ever don't come back to the comments, I will. I will eventually get there. Um, I'm like so grateful. There were so many fascinating things I've been reading in the comments, ranging from the reactions from my content to my content, to the very interesting like fragments from your life and your life story, and how it like intricately resonates with you, just as well as the parts where you tell me some insights and just information there. Like sometimes really I actually I do take screenshots quite a lot, and for the suggestions as well. Like it's a huge topic, like something that also takes some time, but it's pretty amazing to watch, read, and understand the comments deeply. um yeah, for the pile selections, I wanted to say that it came spontaneously. We have in here three angels. The first one is the pink angel, the second one is silver, and third one is crystal angel. It's actually glass, but for the sake of making it sound fancy, let's make it a crystal angel. I really love each representation. It's really interesting if you think about it. Like each has its own unique beauty. So yeah, it's very interesting how when you'll go ahead and choose each angel, I have something of a very particular message in regards to each like angel. It tends to really show what's going on. It shows sometimes some very particular things about the person who chooses the pile. So definitely will be interested, and will be fun to watch who is going to pick what or which angel. So definitely something I'll be looking forward to seeing. There are many, too many at times. Just kidding, just enough actually. Suggestions for the channel. Again, ranging from suggestions topic wise and channel expansion ideas. It's really hard for me, and it's quite puzzling to know why I am actually delayed a bit on that regard. But yeah, it's like if I were to have like complete freedom, I'd perhaps like focus so much time and energy, so much more time and energy on the channel. I just think that there is something there that's still keeping me from fully working on it, though. Like, even though the topics and the dedication so far, it was very much so, it was even draining at some point, though I was like trying to work it out and stuff. So yeah, um definitely you'll see that given like given the depth of the readings, I really try to excel at it and give you the best result ever. Not only that, like, who cares for the result? Like, what I care for is you having the best experience and knowing the best of the best, like, insights for you and for your life in general, to expand and to feel better, to know things that, they're worth knowing, okay? Because usually those things were sometimes so, like, busy with negative stuff that we kind of miss out on a lot of the good stuff as well. And it's very sad, and you'd be surprised how much is out there, and sometimes we just, like, are too busy with the thoughts or emotions that are getting in the way, okay? I think that's pretty much all. Kind of a lengthy introduction, but yeah, I think the proper audience will appreciate the gesture, okay? Okay, let's begin the reading with pile number one. By the way, we will be having perhaps some subdivisions, but I'll see, because it really, the information could diverge, and there could be some very specific ramifications for each pile, and therefore I do not know if those will be needed in the first place. Let's begin with pile number one. Check the description and comments for the timestamps along with the donation if you want. Okay, welcome pile number one. This is going to be a reading. By the way, I didn't mention, this is a new deck I bought, White Lumen Tarot. Let's delve into what we have in here. Now, given that this is the High Priestess, this is quite interesting, and specifically that kind of representation. Now, this is a very rare case, and an exciting case as well at that, of balance between spiritual expression into the world, because this is the High Priestess. Let us not forget this. This is like spirituality lived in life, like not cutting it out, like the physicality, or in general the physical aspect, and making it an integral part of our lives. This pile feels like a grounded person who is capable of managing with a discernment both the physical, material, and the ethereal slash spiritual, philosophical as well, psychological. It could be for some as well, or both, or even more than that actually. This was like more of a identification information. Um, this is a versatile pile. That means you are encompassing a lot of aspects. This is quite a usual information I come across. Um, it means that you are not a unilateral person. You are someone who is capable of encompassing, just like the High Priestess, some conflictual slash contradictory, paradoxical beliefs. Okay, like a very holistic, integral person who's capable of not being narrow-minded, who's capable of thinking outside the box and just allowing life. That's something pretty cool for this pile, by the way. And I want to say that with this configuration, the excitement in here will be also talking about um, allure and attraction, of course, and a lot of magnetism. This is the type of card, or the energy that I will be discussing in here, that says that you are marriage material, or let's be honest, even marriage material is kind of in the box somehow. So I would go ahead and say that people do consider you a very high, top tier quality relationship to have, to maintain, and quite lucky to have. Like, the excitement in here, even though it could be unspoken, we are dealing in here with gratitude for you being, okay? This is like a combination of information and energy, saying that you are a mix of energies that usually people encounter separately in individual people. What does that mean? That means that you contain various positive attributes and character traits that are very rare to be found in one person. You could be possessing those in twos or threes in fours as well. That means, for example, you could be a highly intuitive and evolved person spiritually, psychologically, intellectually, as well as a very successful person in real life, and as well as a person who's kind and has their heart in the right place. Also, we have in here this fairy, like it's pink, so it's like it's very much so linked to emotion in here. The others were a bit, even though I do not know what's gonna unfold in there as well, but we have in here pink, we have the heart, we have like a very welcoming energy, a very kind person, and someone who's very smart. Almost it wants me to say cunning. Why cunning though? I want to emphasize the fact that cunning in here will come in the context of knowing the most proper shortcut for the sake of the logistic itself. So that means you are going to be cunning and smart in situations that will not allow you to basically like walk on people's heads, but at the same time, when it will come to being efficient, and it will be efficient and kind, okay? So that's, it could be rough, it could be a more rough type of energy, but once people get to know you better, they understand that your heart is in the right place, okay? That's the energy I felt with this high priestess. I want to say quality, 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 quality. It's very much like, and you know it, like, you know for sure that you're not meant for everyone and everything. Why? Because there are circumstances, there are even like I would want to say for some reason, like not promotions necessarily, but like places and roles that people think that, you know, they would give everything to be like this, and for you it could be a standard practice. So it's like, dating wise, you could have like a person, for example, not necessarily your case directly, but as a reference, you could be having like a person you're dating or you're having a crush on, or the person has a crush on you, and everyone around you could be like, this is a dream come true. If you know, I dreamt of having like that kind of person, you know, these people would be like, you're so lucky and stuff. But for you, you could be having a more detached slash, you know, I'm grounded in my own energy and worth, and I cannot allow myself to place everything, like to place my bet on this person as if they're everything for me. They are not everything for me. They are lucky to have me. And that's something that also kind of flows into the idea of like, if this is job related, if this is position, relationship, situation related, like, no, indeed the situation, the relationship could be having its own worth, but I also have mine, and my participation in here is also playing a very key role, and I only like walk into this, and you know, the situation is like a bonus. The situation is lucky to have me. Like literally, that's what I feel in here. This is also an unapologetic confidence I can pick up on, and people really like that. Like people really feel the excitement when they see you. But there is hesitation in here. Given that this is the high priestess as well, and also given the fact that you're a very kind person and have your heart in the right place, I do pick up on some severity in here, and like almost gravity or like grave presence. The high priestess, let us be honest, is not a very like communicative, outgoing, extroverted, though you could also be having also like charisma in here, not gonna lie. You are like, you know your worth. That's fascinating in here. I love this aspect. I love that this is not, I do not sense in here shame, though it could be like people could be having like some various experiences. This is a general reading, let us not forget that. But there is something very unapologetic in here when it comes to you asserting, expressing, and being into the room. Like, I came in here to be. I came in here, and you better listen. There is something about this pile that makes it so that your presence is undeniable. Okay, and you shouldn't speak a word. You shouldn't vocalize. You shouldn't fight for your presence. Is just there, you know. And I love it that this pile as well expands on some very like soft and very refined qualities when it comes to like love, when it comes to really opening up. But trust me, like you'd be saying that to me, like, trust me, that doesn't happen like usually. It would be like the person would be lucky to even know that, or the person or the circumstance would be even like very, very lucky to experience that in the first place. Like, this is rare. um the excitement in here, it's like we have a lot of things to learn from them. I haven't here a lot of comparison thinking though, like, hear me out. um it wants me to say that it's that kind of comparison thinking when you like pass by a store and you see something of like a very beautiful dress or a design, you keep it in mind and you think to yourself like, I should really buy that, I should really find a way to make it happen for me. I can see and hear people looking at you in a sort of an example and setting you as an example of sorts. That kind of thinking, meaning that they see some sort of configuration. For example, you are like an expert at something, and the person says, you know, I should really take that, take a note on that professionalism, or that type of dedication for the work, or that type of mentality and, you know, way of the fashion in which you go about doing things. Um, it could be. It could be that people like say, I should be like them. I should be adopting. They find you very inspirational, I want to say. There is also in here with this representation like a very interesting accent on the accessories. You could be someone who's wearing that type of thing, and it could be like complementing your looks. Something about the ways in which you carry yourself, your energy, your clothing, your style in here is very much so complemented. I want to say it could be color-wise, I can pick up on literally what the card suggests. This could be, of course, High Priestess is deep or general like blue. You could be wearing black and gold in here. I would say the abundance of blue, green, black. Some of you could even like have silverish gray, you know, and pink in here by design, but more so the first set of colors I was outlining, and just black, very like deep like cosmic in quality type of black. And you know, like, it just wants me to say like, you know your worth. Like, this person knows who they are, and they are only like awakening in that power and only like radiating even more of it like into the world. Like, this is, I love the confidence in here. I love that you know, you're not afraid to show yourself, you're not afraid to step into the room and announce your presence, and you're doing that even like it could be silently, but it's very much so felt. A wonderful thing to have, by the way. And I love how you place like a boundary of sorts in the people's lives. Like, you're not going to allow every person and every type of behavior, and how you like tend to that inner circle like in such a graceful and like very fragile way. We have in here also every part of you is showing those qualities. You do have very soft spots. You could be even annoyed by that, or you could be even like uncomfortable me mentioning this type of stuff. No, maybe not every single one of you, but it could be a story about someone feeling as though they were taken advantage of, and the whole result of what we see in here is energy wise is like a second part of the story, like becoming the legend, like picking myself up from the pieces and constructing a new, a better, and a more powerful version, someone I never knew I was prior to having that heartbreaking experience. The secret in excitement, and the insights I'm picking up on in here are very interesting because I can see a lot of regret in here. I can see people feeling the depth, feeling the energy, feeling everything they've had just pass by, and they just turned a blind eye on it, you know? I can see the regret. I can see in here also a lifetime, like a chance of a lifetime, and I can see in here like people having very intricate, small but powerful intuition hits when they had the opportunity to interact with you. They got like a nudge to just like behave well, or like be a decent person with them, like at least try to be honest. Like that was the like almost as if the conscience of people was speaking to them. And we haven't here so many people who just didn't listen to that, unfortunately. Like this is too bad for them from your perspective, but from a universal perspective, and specifically from theirs, it's like not even universal, by the way, it's theirs. There is like a huge regret in here. The excitement in here ranges from the like comes from the idea of I knew them, like people brag about it, or they would like to brag about it, that they knew you, they met you, they knew you, they, you know, I know pile number one. I grew up with them. I've known them personally, though literally it could be like an acquaintance, or you could have just said hi. You could have just greeted that person, and that person like, I know them. Yeah, you know something. But even with the people, you do not reveal who you are truly. Like, you do not reveal who you are because you are very selective, and that's completely okay and very welcomed, actually. Um, I rarely get, actually, no, like on the channel, in reality, I rarely get to see that type of quality or like essence of people. But pile number one is the people who are the people who are actually who've been through so much that they I made this like very steel like in quality character or filter that they have placed upon themselves so as to sift out everything that is not decent or is not allowing your full-fledged expression, so to speak. So this is like a spy energy as well. And I want to say, given that also this card is naked, I was actually caught by surprise by this a bit. Though it's okay, like I'll have the job to edit this out because of the format. Completely fine, but still, what's interesting is the fact that we have this person here represented a bit naked. What's interesting, it is very fascinating to find the demeanor like very exposed in a way, um, almost as if it's hinting to the fact that in the past you were like more secretive. The potential was there, and people were able to feel it, though like they were able to feel it. Right now they can see it, they can no longer feel it. It's very much so explosive in the face, so that means you grew like, and I do not, I cannot necessarily feel on the impact or the whether you're conscious of this or not, but you came very far, um, very very far. Like um, the distance and the who you were and who you are, people usually don't get that type of progression in one lifetime. Okay, some of them even in two. There is something in here about like a progression of sorts, and it's being like perceived. Like, I don't know if you realize this, actually you could be very much so aware of this, but every single imprint of what you've been through, what you've seen, what you like filtered through you creates a mutual response with people. And in this context, it's as if you have allowed the filter to refine and allow to stay everything that's best, like the best of the best, okay? And here is the case. So even the bad things, and this is something reoccurring in my readings, the bad things that happened, you allowed them to be, just as much so that you can allow them to define you in the best of the ways. So that's literally someone who, for example, would go into a very abusive situation for the sake of defining what true love is, or true healthy relationships are. This is not, this is a warrior card. Like, this is not a very, like, let's say, even though the High Priestess is a very passive card, in this context particularly, it shows me a person who allowed, who, like, literally, you were vampirizing like a negative situation to such a powerful extent that it thought that it's gonna be like the vampire, but you were. And you were in such a way that, oh god, it's very interesting. It's giving me a bit of a hard time to actually feel it, but it's like something that was supposed to take from you make it learn a lesson by taking from it, which it thought it's never gonna happen. It does remind me actually, like, as I was talking about this, I remember like a music video I was watching once. Actually, go look for it, like, literally, this is so interesting, like, it plays so well with this pile. Actually, it's actually insane how well it plays. Katy Perry, Cry About It Later. I was moved by that song. It was from like a long time, but I was moved by that song, and you will see how she basically goes through very like different cultures, or yeah, you know, like she was traveling and stuff, but she wasn't attached to what was happening in there. Like, she was just experiencing it all. And we've had a situation in which she visited a place. There was a vampire. He tried to bite her, but what ended up happening, she bit him. And that was such a turn. I remember literally the case. And the experience, like, how many things she has been through, like how many things she was like visiting, and you know, the same thing in here. It's like, and also I love that the video is focusing, like the music video is focusing on the aspect of having a great time and not getting attached, like not getting attached and calling it like a compulsion of or stuff like that. So definitely very resonant with this pile. If you know about the music video, then you know what I mean. But I love it. I love how you have this main character energy, just like in the music video, and it's wonderful. It's like it's literally like a walking art. Um, you are literally like walking art, and art doesn't have like a picture. Like a picture is too simplified to say, but um, a painting doesn't have necessarily a progressive history that it would change itself. It's beautiful still, but you are like ever changing, and that is fascinating. Like, literally, the quality of that thing, it's, and I feel like you will further expand and show up in ways in which you never thought it would be possible. Though, like, look up closely into your matrix of character, or I would say look out for the things that you, or people, things that you idolize, and understand that this is not idolization. This is you, and you are becoming that. You are awakening those aspects within you, and that's the excitement. That's where the excitement is coming from. You're recognizing yourself. You're seeing yourself. You're seeing who you are. And the idolization, as I was reading this concept, it doesn't belong to me, but you're discovering uh, that this is you. You just close yourself off from it, okay? You just forgot about it, okay? And seeing that part is like coming back home. It's like idolizing someone is like seeing that part of you who you lost a very long time ago. Do give it a thought. Like, think about your favorite things and think about why. Like, why the character. Like, um, the best representation of this is just look out in the movies, like your favorite characters, and you'll find that you have very similar quality traits and things. And don't even get me going on the aspect of I'm never gonna be like them, because literally it's just sitting there. Like the trait is, this is you. Like, just awaken. And it's hard, I get this, but realize that this is you. This is you, and you are aspiring to become like them. You're aspiring to awaken, and we're all waiting, okay? Like this, the excitement also in here, the grand theme in here is going to be about a huge, 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 huge encouragement to show up and to awaken in the best of your qualities. Because not only people are impressed right now, I want to say the farther you go, it's a bit of a desperacy in here that people feel the farther they are, but just people are waiting. Like, they feel life when they see you. They feel it like on a very visceral level. It's like such a pleasant like feeling, because I want to say it's like we've had in here people who said like it's worth living, like such a life having you by their side. It's like a very like very lucky to have met you, stuff like that. Okay, on top of things, I've taken some other cards. We have in here the mountain, and also the book, unattainable. Unattainable like ever. This pile, I can't. It's literally so. It's a bit perplexing, to be honest. Um, it's a bit strange to see how people perceive you as such like a trophy in a way, in good and bad ways. This will go, but I would see you on top of the mountain, because the high priestess would be isolating as usual. You could be not necessarily isolating, it just feels like there are barriers. And book, like the core attribute and the symbol of knowledge in here, of stored knowledge in here with the high priestess. So yeah, pretty much, if anything, those cards were such pointer cards towards you. I just feel like we're yet discovering, and not necessarily discovering, but the world is discovering the ways to show up in a quality oriented way for them to qualify for you to open up, literally. We have in here people studying you, okay? The overarching message as well, the secret from the hidden secret excitement, is gonna be about not one, two, this could be three or even more people, or a group of people in various levels of perception or perceiving you and studying you, and also gathering information so as to show up properly, actually. The book in here suggests that there is a person, a very specific case for someone or a group of people who is in the midst of learning your patterns. Okay, that's a bit dangerous, because it feels like it's a bit deeper than I was actually expecting. But we have in here someone who's trying to emulate a knowledge so as to have you in some sort of parameter. So that would be someone who's observing you. By the way, you could be so unbothered that you don't even know who that is. Very predictable. to be expected from pile number one for some reason. But this person is somehow trying to devise a way to perceive you or to place you into a frame, like a limit, a boundary of sorts, in the similar fashion in which you would analyze something under a microscope, for example. uh, you'd be zooming in to an aspect so as to see something particular. So that would be literally a person trying to somehow use some psychology or psychological means so as to properly understand you. If not, this could be someone who's literally just gathering information. But what I want to say, and the most like humorous aspect in here when it comes to that person in particular, or a group in here, literally everything is very clear and concise when it comes to the theory. However, when it comes to facing you, it feels like the dimension of what they know is just too limited, or is simply incapable, is rendered incapable to fully understand you. So your experience is much more layered and unpredictable for a system to be able to simply and so skillfully predict or to define you. Like the intention in here coming from people is to define you. So that's not gonna happen. It will fly to bits, because I want to say when people get a feeling of your presence, the system itself, it like the perception itself destabilizes. You're an experience. Okay, how can you analyze an experience? It's just like in the present moment, it just happens. So it's pretty naive in here, I would say, perhaps a quality of that person, by the way, to try and to control you in here, because there is nothing to control. Literally just open your eyes and walk into this. um yeah, so I think that's pretty much it. I wasn't expecting, I was just like read that from what one card, literally some 20 and something minutes, and the other two. But yeah, anything is possible. I do remember like reading a pile from one card, and I was like, hey, feels, I guess this is the reality of it. But yeah, quite nice. um, Unattainable still. I was just taking a card. It's like the crossroads. It tells me not the time right now. Like there is something about romance in here. Maybe you are expecting or waiting on it. Not right now is the word. Or you're someone, actually, never mind. You're someone who cannot have poor quality things, experiences, people, relationships, circumstances, job, whatever it is. Those things that are poor quality cannot be there for long, only perhaps if they have a very good reason to be there, or temporarily fulfill some sort of role or lesson. But it's to be honest, it's not gonna like last very very long. So with the crossroads, there will be points of evolution, but there will be very stable and some very, not even like predictable, but stable slash permanent qualities or things in which people will also, like worthy people, will come in and will settle, and will show up in ways in which you will understand that they are to be trusted. And I want to say you are very tuned into the intuition aspect, as well as you'll be capable by virtue of the experience and discernment to understand which person belongs to which category. So definitely a huge encouragement to use your point of discernment and experience that you have gathered from so many like negative, let's say, experiences. The key card literally will allow you to create that exactly which you want, or invite that like exact person or relationship that you deem worthy of your attention. Lastly, I would believe an advice would be nice for this reading, perhaps. If not, we will see. But one card for that thing, the bear card. You know what? It feels like I'm not gonna lie. Like this is actually what I see. The bear card. You still do undermine yourself. Like let's say not how you did, perhaps some of you in the past, but there is some undermining. Like you'd be shocked, even like no. It wants me to say like it's ridiculous actually. Like you'd pass out, or I'd pass out, or I don't know who would pass out. Okay, literally I have no idea. I'm just channeling. Give me a break. But when you will understand how people look at you, or when you will grasp, or you'll be aware of how people look at you and see you. Something about passing out, literally, perhaps. Yeah. This channeling is such literally made for me because it feels like, yeah, losing my mind, my hobby, literally. But yeah, it just feels like the amount of, and this is like you're taking some sort of quality of yours for granted, and you're so good, like you're so good at something in here, or you're so just a magnificent presence, and you sort of find ways to still tamper or still find fault within yourself, or find ways to maybe expand, but from a space of, I should change, or maybe I should work on that, just not realizing that you're already more than enough, and quite the lucky experience for a lot of people. Literally, you'd be passing out when you'll faint, when you'll realize like how much value in here is being provided, simply because people can have like a wonderful, like simply said, like from that point, example or a reference point, something along the lines of this. Okay, very inspirational, very very inspirational, and it just puzzles me. Okay, it just puzzles this energy to talk through me and say that they're still finding fault with themselves. Okay, when they when they shouldn't. Okay, when they are like such so many things for people, and when they provide such like key moments of just like grateful to be here with them, and yeah, they're still, how dare they even find fault with themselves. Okay, it's that kind of thing. It's infuriating. That energy is a bit infuriated because it doesn't like the fact that you are like undermining who you are. The house, yeah, quality and relationship material in here. You have in here people, or maybe let's check this out. The heart, yeah, both. You'll have and still you have and will have people who will be ready to give a lot of things so as to make you understand how valuable you are. This is a journey, that's completely fine, but it's something that you're transitioning to. A lot of confusion in here relative to your self-worth. It could be the case, though you walked very far still. There are things that you like, literally the example I heard once in a workshop, that the person is trying to work on themselves time and time again. Doesn't have to be necessarily like resonant 100,000%, but the next step in the game, uh, when the person reaches a plateau, so to speak, it would be about not becoming better, but becoming better at accepting and loving who you are. Like not expanding, not changing, not self self evolution or self change, like self improvement. No, it's more about self love. It becomes more about expanding, ever expanding in the sense of appreciation for the self, and there is no place to rush to, or there is no point of progression to move to. It's just a point of how can I better appreciate myself? Okay, that's something that also wanted to like it just came flying into the reading. Like you cannot not acknowledge it. Okay. I think that's all pile number one. I hope you enjoyed your reading. I definitely did, as you can see. Um, I'm not ironic, hopefully. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you had a great time. Do not forget, please, 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 to like, comment, and subscribe. Comment below how this plays into your life and how it resonated with you. Don't forget to show me that, because it really allows me to better improve and to better read. Again, better. Perhaps I should take the lesson from pile number one as well and really appreciate my reads. But what I wanted to say, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Make sure to check out my old videos as well. If you want to donate, do make sure to check the description or the comments for the link. If not, that is completely fine. I still love you. Thanks for watching. I hope you have a great time ahead of you, and do make sure to come back weekly to find in here some truth bombs that I will be bombarding you with, because literally that's my hobby and I cannot live if I don't do that. So thanks for watching. I hope to see you in the future readings. I don't hope, I demand. Okay, it's an order, it's a must. Thanks for watching. Bye. Okay, moving on to pile number two. You have the silver angel or fairy. This is going to be your reading. Let's see what card we have in here. That's on the topic of secret or hidden excitement that people do not show or conceal, or you'll be finding that in the title, because literally so much information. To start with, we have in here the King of Cups. This is quite the representation, to be honest. There is something in here of a message stemming from benefit. Okay. Um, Something about your presence in some people's lives, and this is not one person in particular, this is many. They feel fulfilled. It almost makes me say like they feel well fed or well tended to, because of this King of Cups in here. um, King of Cups, water energy, emotion, care, tenderness, kindness, and especially in the masculine aspect. So it could be that you tend to people. It could be that you actively show up. The hidden, unspoken excitement in here that people conceal, it's the fact that they feel very, very comforted and well tended to, because of you, because of your um, active participation. For some, it could be a passive participation in here, but it could be the case that people perceive you as like a very rich, let's say, influence, emotionally enriching experience, emotionally enriching person to have by. There is something also in here about being irreplaceable, or as if you fulfill a role that's very specific, and also very, very fun, because I do see in here the wind element that's above the water. So it makes me feel like there is something so undeniably like such a necessity in here that's being fulfilled by this pile. And because I will not go into the attachment or the negative stuff, I placed such intention in here. I want to say this is not gonna be a story about dependency. This is a story about you playing a role or fulfilling some needs because you like it, because you are abundant in that quality, and not because necessarily you want something in return, or not because you want to make people feel attached to you. Almost like also being mentioned in here that we do have this like antenna on top of the King of Cups. So that makes me feel like you do have some sort of links in here. It could be both ways, one or both of the information thingies I will be mentioning in here. First of all, it could be that you have like this divine love, and when people like walk, they when they see you, they feel like, you know, they're gonna be blessed once again by you, and it could be the case that you're channeling this love from the greater universe. Also, it could be something about you that's very compatible with a group of people and they feel like they have found the one. This doesn't have to only range to or stem from the romantic side of the reading or romantic scale of the or spectrum of the reading of emotions, though it could be other ideas, because this is a multiple like stream in here that's being represented by multiple rays on the top of the card, on the top of the person's head. It makes me feel like also some of you could have some wonderful certifications or studies that make you a very good person to work with, or a very skilled person in psychology or managing people, or like managing like resources of people or something along the lines of this. So definitely something along the lines of you being a person who's making the people's experiences be enhanced to 100 1000%. This is literally the case of if you were to quit your job or quit fulfilling the role that you were given in this context, a lot of people would be in various forms and levels of breakdown, emotional breakdown or psychological breakdown, and they would be saying stuff along the lines of, you know, this, like this person, I will not feel like this, or I will not experience the things I did uh, anymore because this person is no longer in here playing this role. You know, it's very irreplaceable card, very endearing at the same time. I want to say this card does also feel like you feel like a very homecoming person. That means you remind people of maybe family members, very like warm and like very close ties in here that's being represented, and it's a very rare feeling. I almost want to, it almost wants me to say like um my readings are not going to be gender specific, but what it wants me to say, that you remind someone of either grandmother, grandfather, like you make it fit for you how it plays, but you make someone feel like they have revisited, re-met, or brought back a family member that they have lost. So you could be fulfilling that role. The excitement in here literally could be coming from like a child or like a um someone younger, that they feel like you tended, you care for them, like you tend to them, and this person feels like you are like everything to them. Okay. Something about being a wise and compassionate leader, being like the King of Cups, someone who's understanding, kind, genuine as well, and oriented towards the people that who they love. Okay, it does want to make me say like you're also like a mentor of sorts to people. It does want to make me say also, like stemming from the grandmother, grandfather energy, this could be literally a father figure. Why I said specifically grandfather or mother? Because this is like an elderly person being represented in here. It doesn't have to be the actuality. Okay. But what is very true about this pile, regardless of age, is the fact that people feel like they belong. This is like a very rare energy that people stumble across, or it generally feels like a very scarce energy, and it makes it feel like, you know, how many thousands of years we would have to wait to encounter such a person, you know. Also, it wants me to say that you are a very dear person, a very, like, I seen here people being very excited and very pleased to see you. Okay. Um, I will repeat myself if I were to say that people feel really grateful to have you, but literally that's such a reoccurring theme in here. Okay, the next card we have is the Page of Wands in here in reverse. I feel like there is something very grounded about you, also that makes people excited in the ways of, like, let's say, work-related ways, where it would feel like you are someone who's taking on some like lead roles or lead, you're like providing some brand new ideas in this context, because I can see this like energy of people looking forward to you talking or looking out for what you have to say. There is also a feeling of them being unskilled or not necessarily like knowing everything, like what's going on, and them looking out to you. If this is work related, this will resonate. If not, that could literally be something of the sorts of you being like a mentor and people just like looking up to you. Of course, the excitement in here, I want to say, comes from a very specific point where it says that the learning experience in general could be quite frustrating in general. With you, however, being the King of Cups in here, it makes it so that you are very like exposing information in a grounded way where you're focusing on people understanding what's going on and not, making it a pain or not really undermining. It could be the case in here as well that people don't feel like they are unworthy or they don't feel like they are not good enough when they are being taught by you, when they are being like guided by you. It could be the case as well. It's a very fun and interesting, exciting, passionate experience to learn by your side or to be taught by you. So it also bridges the gap between like work stuff and whatever. It feels like people want to get to know you better on a personal level. Also, given that the King of Cups could be about intimacy, it could be the case that people could feel like they are exploring new ways of connecting to you, and they have like they could call their relationship with you to be very deep, and once, like a person they would meet like once in a lifetime. And it also makes me feel like the situations with people, the relationships you can have. That you would meet very rarely, or a very like good person, who cares for you beyond like some like context. For example, if a person were to be your teacher, this person could look to care for you beyond. It's like this person is interested in you knowing what you should like study on a deeper level, and not necessarily for the sake of the grade, given. People refer to you in that way, so they understand that you are for them on a personal level. Like it's a lot of I get in here a lot of excitement and a lot of desire to connect, to get to know you, and to have you like to feel like they belong and that you belong with them as well. So in here we also have this gratitude energy of them wanting to notify you that they are grateful for having you. Okay, third time or fourth time, I guess, mentioning the gratitude, gratefulness in here. That's being grateful, actually. Very funny because it's like such a reoccurring theme. It also makes me feel like, for some reason, there is a lot of like barriers in speech. So I do not know if people would readily recognize what's going on in here, or they would vocalize necessarily. Like we have in here a lot of young people who are just like not able, or it's not even young energy. I would feel like this could be people who are just a bit closed off. They could understand that you're caring and you're looking forward to like being kind to them, but they are unable to fully grasp or understand or really be reciprocal about it. Not that you really would want that, but there is just a lot of giving from this pile that's very like, let's say, um, like people oriented. That's a wonderful thing because usually it's a very rare trait that you have people to genuinely be aware and try to work with a person that's close to them and not have something of a personal like, for example, literally like this is not a pile who's going to be having relationships because they have some sort of benefit out of them. No, this is the a very genuine, I'm connecting with people because it's like wonderful, like it's a wonderful experience. It's quite puzzling that, usually the pages are very premature or almost adolescent type of energy, or this could be entry level people, like in a context of work, this could be people who are freshly starting to learn something. And regardless of the work setting, like it feels like this pile is capable of assisting everyone in need. And yeah, it's a very and even though it could be that we have in here people who could be also like of age, but they're guided. Okay, that's a very neat thing to have in the reading. The excitement in here is going to be also about what other next like exciting thing, wonderful thing I'm gonna learn from pile number two. Also, given the selection of the items that you have chosen from, this fairy in particular is very generous. Okay, fairy angel, whatever it is. Um, While the pile number one was more to themselves, I can feel like this pile is very open, and the King of Cups as well is a very like generous, giving energy, generous and giving presence. So literally, it could be a trait that you could identify with, and could be like a mark or a sign that this is going to be, or this is your reading. I want to say there is like a compliment in here that's being showcased or um, brought into like examination or something, but it's like we do not have this Queen of Cups in reverse. So it's like, in the contrast of the energies I have read, it feels to me like you are not going to be the person who's going to take advantage of the things I have outlined. So this is not like emotional manipulation in here. So it's like we have a very clear understanding in here that, pile number two is going to be playing fair, or is going to be deliberate in authentic connections. And it's like that is also a very huge aspect that makes it so that people feel really close or want to connect to you, because they do not feel like there is like this engulfing like emotional tie or strings attached to the relationships or to the gestures that you extend, or there is not that feeling where people feel as though they are indebted to you because you have helped them. So a very wise leader. This is very much so emperor energy that's also coming through, but also a very, it's like you're divinely protected or you're shielded a lot. I would feel like this pile is under protection because for some reason this Queen of Cups, and I really love the card, by the way, it has nothing to do with the card itself, it's just the energy I picked up on. You are protected by virtue of being so authentic. You are protected from people who are going to be just as open with you or with others, but will do so and will use that openness to their advantage. So I haven't heard this almost like, doesn't really matter if this is a person group, whatever circumstances, but there were attempts, like very active attempts to get into your zone, to really study and to really mess with that flow of energy, with that flow of, you helping others or them trying to whisper to you, like you should take advantage of that, or help me out because you have so much access. No, I can see this almost like white bubble, and this person being unable to do what they planned to, and it's like planned, like a planned project of sorts that failed miserably and that left this person in shambles emotionally, and you being like even more recognized. So good karma for sure. This pile is feeling uh, literally like reaping in here a lot of positive energy that's being given back to you, and like literally you don't necessarily expect it, but I can feel like there is like a natural exchange in here that's happening, and it's so beautiful, like literally I can't this is also very grounded. It's very rare to see like emotional people who are grounded, because that's me, like I'm a Scorpio, and emotions are running high for me pretty much all the time. In this case, this pile has learned or has managed to refine and work through their emotions to such an extent that they are powerfully grounded and they are a clear channel of those emotions, and they're able to clearly discern and work through and direct that energy in the proper like channels of communication, action, and thought, and whatever it could be, like literally projects or future outlooks. This pile has mastered that in a way. While there is also with the scythe card in here a feeling of, yes, people do want to profit off of you in this case or context, as if they would get a lot of benefits out of getting to know you or being very close friends with you. That's not gonna be something I will, um, you know, not mention. Um, but there is a powerful discernment in here. I like what's a lifesaver in here is literally your discernment. We have the ship in reverse. Um, no wonder people really contact you on a lot of things in here because of your discernment. It's a very powerful thing. I want to say it again, that with the proper understanding of what's happening around you and you having a very keen eye on everything that's happening, and you're not desperate, you're not in that desperacy, scarcity mindset, you're not going to be handed just anything, you know. um, Literally the case where not everything that shines is gold is going to apply with this pile. It's like you know that uh, concept by heart. You know it so well. You cannot be impressed. You cannot be love bombed. You cannot be gaslighted. Or I just see and hear people emotionally wanting to get close to profit, and you distance yourself from that. I see and hear offers being made and them being very seductive in a way, and you're like, no. I also see and hear like people promising you stuff, understanding who you are, what you represent, and promising you stuff, and you seeing right through them, literally. And the excitement in here really, it's it's so fascinating. Like it stems from a sheer fascination that people have when it comes to like you picking up the gears, working the whole thing through, like just you setting an example through your work, through your actions. And I don't see you really moving a lot, by the way, because this is a very, like, I see everything moving around you. So it could be like people revolving around you in a way, or situations revolving around you in a way. This is a very good sign. Why? Because this doesn't imply you seeking things. It feels like they just come to you. This is not a page in here who's constantly moving around. This is a more static card and a more grounded card as well. And we have this whole body of water. So literally, you're being referred to as a very mature person. Um, I would not be surprised if you don't have a lot of friends, because we have in here the dog in reverse. Um, not gonna be like genuinely not gonna be surprised. You've learned to somehow be for a lot of people like something that you didn't have, or someone you didn't have. But for you, it's still like kind of a lonely thing. I want to say there is an energy of like a, this is not a twin flame. I don't know what that is. Like, don't even ask me. This is why a twin? It's like a twin of character, you know. It feels like it's a very similar person in here that's either approaching or it's in the shadows or it's in the background somehow. I will use the cards to clarify what that is. It could be that, oh my god, it could be both actually. The thing is, they are going to show up when it's time, and I feel like this is like a very similar in experience type of person. I am actually, it's very surprising. It will feel like, you know, you've met a person that truly understands you, or you will meet the person like who will truly understand you. It just feels like outside of this whole context thingy, it's like you're going to just meet that person and things will start to make a lot of sense and you're going to connect with them. But it feels like a very like similar, but there will be a lot of delayed communication for some reason, or it's like this person is being yes, it's like I do not know, like don't even ask me if this is romantically or not, but like you are in need or not even in need, but it would be wonderful to have like a connection of sorts that you would be able to trust, and you will meet a person who's going to, but at the right time and place, who's going to be everything that you are to the people. Like that's very strange. I don't know, it's a very concrete but strange message at the same time. You're going to meet that person, but this is not going to be a very like this is going to be a very odd encounter. It will feel literally like a we have the garden. It's gonna feel like you were pigeonholed in a way in that situation to meet with that person. And I don't see in here a lot of happiness at first, or you could be even like, why do I have to be? Why does this person has to be here? Okay, so that's not in reverse. Literally, you are in general very grounded in your sense of self-sufficiency, and you will have someone stepping in, literally not even them stepping in, it would be the universe, God himself, who's going to insert that person into your life. With garden there is not going to be much of a possibility of escape, so it would feel to me like it's gonna feel a bit awkward, and you're going to be brought into some like old feelings, but not bad feelings. I feel like you're expecting the worst, or you are like self-sufficient and you don't want to deal with this anymore. Yeah, but it's like I would feel like you are going to meet a person who's going to be placed like in a garden setup. The garden is like very also static and closed spaced, so that means this is not a crossroads. This is not like a place or an open place. This will be like it could be a room. It could be something along the lines of constriction that's not gonna allow you to run away. But the good news I wanna say wonderfully in here, like you're resisting this like heck you are resisting this a lot. Okay. I wouldn't be surprised if you even could be cringing at that message, but the truth is there is like a message of you've been so like freely giving in a lot of things. You wanted to bring the best to the world, and you've never let yourself feel what's like to have that in return in a way, or you never let yourself have that being received by you. And there will be a person who, whether you like it or not, you won't be able to get rid of, and this person is going to slowly but steadily reawaken in something that you deserved to have from a very long time ago. And I feel like this should be also a kind of a surprise, but the marking in here of how you're going to recognize this is going to be literally, I don't want this. Like there will be a clear, concise, I'm not in need of that, and I never needed it. It could be literally a place of denial in here that's gonna be freshly and wonderfully brought up to the surface. But when I tell you that this person, you won't be able to avoid them, you will be literally, well, there will be situations, very specific ones, that will place you in such a light that either you'll need something from that person, or the circumstances themselves are going to place you in like limitation. But trust me when I tell you that you're going to feel like you are, like it makes me feel, yes, this is kind of romantic, whether you like it or not, but it makes me feel like it's gonna feel like a first love, but this time it's gonna feel like a first love, but with a whole experience, and you're going to be like, no, I don't need it. Okay, why does it happen? I didn't ask for it. Okay, it's like I'm working on something else. Actually, in actuality, you should know this, but I'm busy. Like this will be the message, or this will be the energy of yours, and it's like people are waiting for me, and this person will be like, no, no, actually the universe is going to be like, no, you're staying this and you're experiencing this, and this is by the schedule, this is neatly on time, and I don't care, like you're going to have this as an experience. I don't know, I don't want to like literally talk too much about this, because it's like a sort of a blessing in disguise that's gonna show up, but it's not gonna be like a blessing for you. It's gonna feel like a burden. The heart in reverse, literally, like I do not know why, but it's as if you have made yourself, or you have crafted a mission of assisting people, but in the middle of it, the reality shows that you have managed to remain alone, okay? And the question is, it's not even a question, it's like the quest of yours to fulfill the gaps within the world seems like it's a very no it's a very actually it's a very noble thing, it's a wonderful thing, it's something that fills you up truly, and it's an authentic thing that you're doing. But there will be a point of completion that will urge you to expand and to really face yourself like in a relationship setup, and really drop the whole act, or really not even the act, but will allow you to expand even greater in that quality of love, because it's time. Time for what? Literally, I have no idea. I'm just channeling, but I feel like you have been coming to terms with the idea, or you have decided for yourself, but that you're going to be alone, or you're just going to be like this, or you're just going to just fill the gap with other people and the great love, and you're a loner. Like I'm actually like Michael, I'm actually a loner, like leave me alone. And this is not going to be like a statement, a fact. This is going to be like a nudge, or like a reminder to me, like, I'm alone, I hope I'm not exaggerating in here. Could be, but whatever. You signed up for it if you are still here. But the coffin card in reverse, okay. I think I've already touched on a lot of things in that regard. I'm not feeling the urge to continue with that theme. I'll just say this. Um, there is things that you know and that should be, and there are things that will happen and you'll understand that they also should be, and they are an integral part of your will, and your they will complement your logic of existence. Literally, I have no I can't believe I'm saying this, but yeah, I think that's it. Let's see, because I have unfortunately steered away from the topic as usual, but um, naturally this pile is capable of attracting a lot of attention. This is again the birds and a lot of hidden attention. So it's like when you enter the room, or when there is like your name being mentioned, whatever, there is a lot of reputation going, and a lot of honorable reputation going as well at that. And yeah, very mature. It's very interesting how a multitude of cards, like a multitude of, like, let's say, unexperienced, not even like youthful, but naive almost cards showed up in reverse and in the background, so very far away from you. And there is a lot of shielding, a lot of like protection in here, a lot of like care and distance, almost like you invite a lot of order in your presence, and you maintain a lot of order in general in your presence. And that is being felt in those cards I have just like outlined. I was just talking about with the ship in reverse and the scythe. It's like you are capable of discerning the right from wrong and the white from black. And I do not like this polarization thinking, but you're capable of understanding what this person in front of you is, who they are, what they represent, what character traits you see through them, okay? And that allows you to have an experience of life that, really has powerful boundaries, and that, sets the right foundations. Like, that's like literally what comes to mind. It's a very lucky thing to have, I would say. It's a very lucky thing to possess, to have in your toolkit in a way, and it's definitely making people feel really like in a way also jealous, but it wins them over. That energy of being honorable and being fair to people, it really wins them over. Even those who are envious, eventually when they come in contact with you, when they get to know you, when they understand who you truly are and that you're really not against them, and that you're generous with them, even still, even if they are cold, or if even if they are kind of detached, it's a very, like, let's say, um it makes their heart melt in a way. So you win them over. Wonderful thing. Like, this is very good. It makes people come back. I would say again, we have this ancient message. I don't remember. I was looking. I had it in the older videos, but it makes me feel like even the haters in your context, they see you for who you are. They understand who you are, and they understand also that there is weight in your generosity, kindness, and genuine nature, and they understand that also is being complemented by the ways in which people behave towards you. So on top of that, it makes you really irresistible to be enemies with. I really don't understand what it's okay to have like enemies, by the way, because people are literally nowadays and not really nowadays, but people could be like triggered by many things, and it's not our faults, but it's really hard to be like enemies with you. It should be really like someone, like, for you to not be friends for the person to not be friends with you, they would really have to be someone like a whole, because it would be like really missing on an opportunity to connect with like a very deeply um like kind and oriented towards the connection person, like really a missed opportunity of sorts. But this happens, this is unfortunately very common, and people are on different levels, on different in different like spheres of life. So yeah, it's very common. I think that's pretty much all I had for you today. Thank you so much for watching pile number 2. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe to my channel. If you're not already, make sure to check out my old videos as well, on the channel or playlist. I don't even remember if I have, but do check the videos because there are some interesting topics there as well. Do make sure to mention in the comment section whether you resonated or how you resonated with this spell, perhaps like mentioning details that you did not resonate with, if that really helps you. It will definitely help me out understanding how the logic of the channeling thing works, but I love the ones that mention that it resonated. I'm pleased to know that it worked out for you. If you want to donate for the channel, the link is in the comment section and the description section. If not, that's also completely fine. I still love you, no problem. um, I think that's pretty much all I had to say for today. Thanks for watching, and I look forward to exploring new things and the new dimensions of information with you in the future readings. Take care, pile number 2, and have a great day, a great time in general ahead of you. Thanks for watching. Bye. Okay, pile number 3, you have the clear angel, or the crystal, or the glass angel. Really, pick whichever you want, literally the case. Let's see what your central card is gonna be about. We have the Five of Cups in here in reverse, okay? The topic was hidden excitement, okay? This is very defined as a message with the Five of Cups. Why it's defined, it says that this is very much so you're a presence that's homecoming, but very comforting, just like pile number 2, but this time it's much more personal, it's much more comfy, it's much more introverted than pile number 2 and pile number 1. It's much more healing, and while 1 and 2 were healing in a way, pile number 3 feels specifically or directly aimed at healing the person and the people in general. The secret excitement, it's, I don't know why, but it makes me feel like people just want to come to you and just fall asleep into your hands. That's literally the case in here. The Five of Cups signifies in general heartbreak, like a sort of a dark night of the soul, in like the emotional sense, because it could be a very heartbreaking, like bitter experience. If you really are to think about it, it being in reverse, it makes me feel, or it makes me want to say that people feel as though you're healing their grief, you're healing their depression, their bitterness, and reawakening them to want to live again. A very healing presence. Like, why are people hiding like excitement? It's like they don't want to scare you off, they don't want to scare that energy off of comfort, but they don't want you to worry for them because they feel already that you are doing enough for them. That's very interesting and quite specific as well. I don't I don't want to really go in that type of energy, but mm, for some of you it's something very dark in here. Surprised, but in general, like I'm like even stumbling across this. Why this feels like I can see someone pondering whether it's too much or they should just go. And you brought that person out. Okay. Um, when I look at this card in upright, I can see this person almost like intentionally pouring the cup out and like in disappointment. This card being in reverse, it's like you are reminding people why it's worth being here, like why it's worth continuing on, like why it's worth pushing forward. This is like a lot of sadness and grief in here that's being showcased. Okay, emotional unboxing, mm, pretty much. But it's a grim thing, and it's a grim thing when where you came in and you made a person just shift from that mindset. It's in reverse, so it's like you remind people of why they're here. It's like very noble stuff, by the way. This is not surprised. This is I am. This is not like excitement in here. This is a bit of actually surprise. This is like I never thought, you could tell me this in that way, and I would feel like wanting to be here again. Um, Very comforting, very, very comforting pile, by the way. And it's like you show up when it's like the worst, It's like this is like a clear angel to me, and it feels like you are like a vessel of sorts. Uh, who's allowed to step in and materialize in people's lives when they are feeling like at the lowest points or when they feel like they're close to giving up. We have the garden. I don't know why, but I can see an image of a person just coming to you and crying. Okay. Very also soft, very almost like timid, but like a treasure person, pile number three. Why I'm saying this, we have the lilies in reverse. It feels like the exterior, or not even like the exterior, perhaps something relating to how people perceive you in general, that makes it so that people perceive you one way, but when they get to know you better, they understand that you're truly like a very comfortable and assisting, type of person. We have this. Why I said treasure, we have the lilies card in reverse, so it's like this feeling of people get like they wake up in the who this person is, like who pile number three is. um I don't know why, but it makes me feel like some sort of foundations of people got shaken, and you showed up and you reestablished everything, you put everything back where it was or where it should have been. Um, Also, what the the garden card. By the way, um, I got an image. If you know from the Disney, the Cinderella, you have the moment when she cries, I guess, like near a fountain in the garden, and then the moment where the fairy godmother shows up. So we have the energy of you representing some sort of aid from the divine that's being like understood in the story as the fairy godmother. So we have this energy of grace and blessing that's coming through you as a means of urgently assisting the person, okay, and when the situation is dire, okay, specifically when the situation is dire, when the person is feeling like they're wanting to sever somehow the attachment in general, or they no longer see the logic of, or the, let's say, why everything is like this and why it's so painful, okay. And we have, your presence or your appearance as an element of stabilization, okay. I wouldn't be surprised, like literally, I'm just dropping this by, I wouldn't be surprised, like for real, if your presence or participation in people's lives is being interpreted or seen and perceived, or could literally actually be um, assisted by miracles, okay. How am I gonna literally read that for you in your case? um, let's say a person is in grief because they have lost someone, okay. Let's say they lost a mother, and that mother used to have like let's say like a necklace with a blue crystal there, or like a, yeah, let's say a blue crystal, okay, given the cups card in here. And you could be literally showing up and wearing a necklace literally with the same crystal, same like ornament, not ornament, but the ornament could be different, but the polishing of the crystal literally identical, okay. And this person could be like looking at the necklace and saying like, being comforted by your presence and saying like, my mother used to have this exactly the same, like it looks identical. Or you could show up and you could say something and the person is like, exactly the words my mother used to say. um, and there is like a feeling or a confirmation that they are not alone or they are not lost. Now, we have in here very controversial information, but we have the fox in reverse. I want to give you a disclaimer, but hear me out. Don't take it if it doesn't resonate with you. I see in here with the fox card um, entities who try to extort people or to push them into spaces that make them feel really down. And when they accomplish this and the person is in the midst of it and is being drained emotionally, they feel very content. They feel like it's mission accomplished. Your presence, and hear me out, if you're really like aiming towards that, if you're aiming for that kind of mission, then this is like your pile. If not, maybe it resonates as well somehow for you, but I want to say, I just see a genuine desire to help and aid, and I can feel like you are assisted by an energy that's greater than you, and this energy comes through and somehow rescues and breaks the whole plan of these entities. Um, I can see in here like it's very ugly. I know what I'm gonna say, but I can see in here a conscious desire to mess with psychology of the people coming from the side of this entity. Like, you know when you have like a pond with like some sort of sediment there, and when you shake the whole thing, like the water, you create some sort of disturbance and everything turns murky. I can see in here like this life being like this pond and these entities or people, but genuinely, I'm gonna say it directly. I can see it as being entities and them steering everything, and bringing this like just darkness and mixing it all together where the person is no longer able to function properly, and I can see the person just being shocked or being like genuinely confused. Um, yes, and like the person is being taken advantage of because of their emotional state they're in, and I can see you bringing clarity. It's literally goosebumps because why am I saying this? Look at the, it's crazy. Like I feel like it's a bit trippy, but we have the clear, um, we have the clear angel in here. You reestablish clarity, and the person is capable of seeing the truth. It's, I have no words, literally. You bring the person down to earth. You bring the person like with their feet on the ground when the situation feels dire. And I have some categories, at least I can feel definitely very strongly two of them. I have in here genuine, like directly working like light workers, people who are uh, having a very clear and concrete desire or a contract with the energies to assist. I also have in here a category that just feels very good by helping others, and I can see this very like a almost like a silver lining or a silver string of energy, and like almost like a ray or impulse of energy to direct and to deliberately like plant you in the right circumstances. And I can see that you don't know how you ended up there, but at the end of the day, you ended up with a person crying in your hands. That's kind of the situation here, and we have the stars in reverse. That's so crazy. Like, um, there are moments in life when people feel like there is no, not worth, like there is not no further. I cannot go further. It's like just I don't get it. Okay, why do I have to, and you like why do I have to carry so much, why do I have to be burdened by it? And you reestablish hope in people where seemingly it's being lost. And to me there are three things, I hope I'm not forgetting this, that genuinely fascinate me in this whole situation thingy. First of all, it's your not ignorance. This is just unaware. I feel like this pile is so unaware of how many things or how many roles and key phrases they have said that made people feel better. That's on one hand. That's just pretty hilarious to watch, even though the situation is not. However, like for me, for you to understand what I'm seeing. Second, it's just absolutely amazing and amusing to see how these entities or these energies that negatively want to impact the people, they feel like genuine resentment towards you. You're protected from that, but it's like the plans being ruined. And that's so in the shadows in here, like literally have no idea. Oh god, it's like the fox in here in reverse. It's like they do their dirty work and they feel like nobody's watching, or they feel like they're doing that in the shadows and nobody's gonna know, or it's as if the person is going to be called like insane, or the person is going to be called or labeled as deranged or something like this. And um, at the base core level in society, these people are going to be marginalized and they're going to be brought into even lower energies. And when you show up, it's like you are a messenger of sorts. You ruin so many plans from those energies. It's like pretty hilarious. Like when I saw this fox, like let me tell you, not know if you're gonna, they've been doing that for such a long time and they've never had like resistance. And you show up and you destroy their plans in such a way that, and I do not feel like you're doing this on purpose, or I don't know if you're really aware of that. Some of you are actually. But what's also the third thing that's pretty hilarious is how this like divine energy or angels in I do feel like, I'm not gonna lie, this is God. Like I cannot like I do not say like I have the right to or not right to say who or what is God, or who believes in who, but all I can say in here is that I can see a great love that's trying to desperately reach, not even desperately because I do not sense desperation in that energy ever, but that's trying to assist people at their level, at the level of their own openness to God. And I can see this showing up and trying to, somehow it's like reaching its hands through your hands and is talking through your mouth, is like doing the right things. And also like three elements in here that's being like that are participating, and the person in here is like the another party altogether. It's like the person in here literally doesn't understand that they are being fought for, okay, by you, by this energy, and by the other. I would say that's pretty intense, and this is the first time I come across such a thing on my channel as well. It's pretty trippy, to be honest with you, but I never expected I would see that. We have the Dark Newman. Okay, that's like some sort of a very like special. Yeah, and we have this Two of Cups. It's like, yeah, the opposition in a way. You know, I would really like tell lies to you if I were to avoid this whole thing and just call it a day and just go into the main frame of the reading, but um, I can see in here a sort of a war and also a desire for this positive energy to awaken people and to wake them up and to open their eyes and to understand that there doesn't have to be despair, okay? That's pretty intense. Nine of Swords. Um, there is something angelic about this pile as well. There is something very like decent, honorable, and very like genuinely this pile makes me reminds me of some sort of situations where, for example, you want to help the person, but they distance themselves, or the situation somehow like intervene and make it even more difficult to work with that person or something like this. Definitely some sort of a war theme I can pick up on in here, and and the Ten of Swords, 9 and 10 of Swords. Yeah, that's the order of the day, it seems. You're a healer. I can see in here, whether you like it or not, aware of not or not, I can see in here almost like an angelic mission that you play. This will look in various ways and forms different to each of you, but the truth is, and the result, what matters really in this situation, is actually the same. You bring people out of their darkest places and you give them something to think about. You give them some food for thought. You give them some sort of a new direction, or you give them an awareness. You gift them with an awareness that either allows them to go out of their Nine of Swords or allows them to quit their Ten of Swords. And from the looks of it, you're working with people who are deeply entrenched in a feeling of despair. It could have been the case that you maybe went through a similar thing, and with some help or not, you got out of it. Now you're capable of bringing that out of other people as well. But regardless of the case, it's pretty intense, to be honest with you. Um, we have in here the Eight of Cups as well. I can see you having like gifts. It could be like spiritual gifts. It could be the experience has gifted you with mm, something that it's like I can see you being trained, or you being placed in situations, or you seeing stuff that's not like, I don't want it to sound insane, but it's not visible to the simple eye, to the common folk. Okay. um this is psychic gifts. These are like abilities of perception of energy and perception of things that people don't dream or don't have like in lifetimes. That's psychic. And psychic for the sake of helping others. That's pretty intense. um the Emperor in reverse. I want to say, you have not only a lot of enemies in here, but you have managed to drive crazy a lot of those like dark and enemies in general things. um you walk gracefully in danger, and I'm not encouraging you to do that. No, don't like, don't do that. But I want to say, naturally or by design, it's like people would say this doesn't happen. Like, pile number 3 is just like not only like divinely protected, like shielded, literally. It's like I feel in here situations that you participated or you were in that physically would be impossible, like miracles. Literally, the theme of miracles with pile number 3. There is something in here that it shouldn't be. Like it shouldn't, like, almost it makes me feel like it shouldn't have allowed you to, thrive further or something like. But something stepped in, this energy stepped in and made you your own way. It carved your own path in the impossibility itself. It carved your path in this like impossibility. Okay, it's like a desperate situation, and you have a lot of opposition in here. I can see in here a very pure person. I can see in here a very like almost like a fairy in disguise, literally an angel in disguise, a person who could be playing at like a very low profile, just like everyone else, but in their depths of the soul, they carry a mission that they talk about, don't talk of to other people. It's like a secret, like mission of sorts, I can say. That's the temperance in reverse. You definitely have a lot of eyes on you, and like I want to say, there is so much opposition in here. There's so much opposition, like seemingly with that amount of opposition, with no protection, you would be no match. But I can see this energy, this very loving and positive energy just coming through and gently protecting. This is not only gently protecting, this is literally just jumping in and creating a path for you in situations that otherwise wouldn't be. Like, and this is like a pile who has seen some stuff real, like some real stuff there that's like pretty crazy. I literally, like, to be honest with you, this is such an intriguing pile. I really want to know, like, I'm generally very intrigued by readings and what I come across, I stumble upon. But with your case, I want to deliberately like ask you if you could expand on what I saw in here. If you want, of course, there is no. But when I saw this emperor like crushing, like, I don't know what's he crushing in here, but it's like coming out a lot with a lot of like, yeah, it's the hilt of the sword, by the way. I can see in here like energies, people, entities who tried to get in your way because they didn't like the fact that you just didn't play by the rules. Not only didn't play by the rules themselves were bent when you stepped in. And for them, at first it was met with a lot of like just like mistrust and displeased that they couldn't reach out to you. But second of all, when they saw that you are like immune, it literally enraged them to the point where they wanted to somehow like not want you to thrive would be the most light version of this. But you have no idea, like maybe you do, but who knows, you have such a powerful protection in here. Like, I cannot believe this. Divinely protected is literally an understatement. I'm very curious, like I want to know like what's going on. Maybe you're not allowed to necessarily expose everything, or you don't feel like exposing everything in here. In that case, it's completely fine. But I can see in here almost like a vow that I will be with my people, or I will save the people, or I will assist my people. And I can definitely say this emperor could represent the system, could be the personification of a system, a person, a group of people who, or a group of things that could try to literally just like extort people, like take advantage of them. And you're literally the opposite. And when you step in and you like literally break the plans, it's infuriating to say the least. It just makes me feel, we have the death card in reverse. It just makes me feel like you are an element that's beyond the rules. Yeah, I remember like almost every single time it ends up being pile number 3 with such crazy information. And here I remember like previously, some like months ago, when I was reading exactly the same energy, I came across with piles 3. Like whatever it was, I don't know who is watching this, but whatever the case may be, it's like this pile is always like sticking out to me in a very weird way. uh Knight of Pentacles, I can see in here disruption, like literally. No, I guess that's too crazy for me to say it. No, I'm not gonna say it. I will just maybe simplify it, but what I want to say is like I can see in here disruption. I can see in here a sort of linear like story in your life where it was seemingly normal, and then I see this disruption of sorts. And I can see this disruption being also assisted by the divine, and I can also like further see how it expands into a greater mission. For example, it could be the case you could have been in the same situation where you were at edge, or you felt like it was too much, and then in that like bit of despair, you know how you hear in legends that a figure shows up, like someone steps in, an energy steps in and gives you a purpose, helps you and rescues you, and then you, in this great love and recognition and gratitude for the service and for the great love that you have been given, then you show up and you decide to make this energy the central point of your life and to assist others. That's what I see when I say disruption, and I don't want to really like expand on this too much, but what I can say for sure, it's like something shouldn't be there, or something shouldn't have happened, but it did, and it was really heartbreaking. And I can see it almost reverberating, or I don't know how you say that, like it creates a ripple effect, or it's like I can see a lot of people going through the same, and you being the personification or the intervention of that energy that you experienced when you were at the lowest point into your life. That's as far as I'm gonna go for sure. But you remind people of what's actually important, or you remind them that in the pits of hell that they might be going through, there is always a promise for like the light of the end of the tunnel, or there is always someone there who's gonna care for you. Even if that's one person, and if that's for now me, then this feels like a very specific reading. This feels like a personal reading, by the way. So it's really the case. It will either resonate. I'm really comforting myself because I'm like at the end of the reading. Like, people clicked off if they wanted, really. But it's like either it will resonate with you or it will not completely, and this is not your pile. You should check out the other one or the another one, like one of or two. But this one is very specific, and this one is being veiled and covered in a shroud of mystery and almost like miracle, literally miracle, something that was, I can see this energy, okay, I think I will expand on this in a way. uh I have heard about this in books, movies, in stuff. There is like a challenge point in people's lives when they reach they hit the rock bottom. The rock bottom could be anything. It could be some sort of promise that wasn't fulfilled, a betrayal, something very grave, something very deep that affects people, and it really destroys them when it happens. And the person is there, and that in that level, like literally having nothing, like losing everything. And in that moment, why I said Cinderella with this one, because those moments are very, very, it's almost like a theme. Um, it's almost like there is always balance in the universe, and especially because everything is created out of love, or because I believe that at least. Um, there is like always something that triggers and shows up and assists a person so that they don't feel like, life is literally taking everything away from them. And it could be the case. I've heard that being mentioned in like three stories, one of them being like literally Cinderella. It's like when a person who's good, a person who is kind, and really a person who's pure in the depth of their soul, is being like given or handed the experience of life. And it's a very heartbreaking experience, and a cruel one at that as well. And I can see this like miracle happening, taking place. And for some, it could be like something as simple as, I don't know, waking up with a renewed sense of purpose, and that was a miracle for them. For someone else, it could be something even more trippy. But the truth is, I can feel like there is something very similar, like almost too true for this pile, that this pile was carrying as a secret to themselves for a very long time. And I'm not sure if you're gonna even want to expand on this. So yeah, if you're here, it means it resonates for you. I hope at least so it does. I think that's pretty much it. Okay. Um, that was your reading, pile number 3. That was a very specific reading and I loved it. I was kind of scared of it because it was starting to get really trippy from what I heard in here, but nonetheless, it was a wonderful thing I read. Thanks for watching. Do you please remember to like, comment, subscribe to my channel. Make sure to check out the old videos as well. And there is always the donation link in the comment section or the description section, if you want to donate. If not, that's completely fine. I still love you, and I still love you even if you just want to watch and you don't like. But it really helps the channel and the analytics of the channel if you engage with the videos. So don't forget to do that if you want to like support me and my channel and my mission. Thank you so much in advance for all of the people who agree on commenting and saying like what's going on in here. I want to know, like, for sure I do. And thanks for watching. I hope you will return to see other videos weekly as well. I hope you have a great time ahead, and I want you to know that you are truly a divine sent person, and that people felt like you saved their life. We have the star, God, like, you have the star, like, that's like you awakened people into wanting to be here. That's a huge accomplishment. Thanks for watching. I hope to see you in the future readings. Have a great time ahead of you. Bye.